Alrighty, folks, we're gonna get started here pretty soon. So, jumped the gun a little bit, started streaming a little bit early, but that's because I have a lot to say and a lot I gotta do on my end to get this working. So, do me a favor, share around the stream. This should be a lot of fun. Talk to you all soon. Alrighty, let's get started. Welcome to the next decade. Gotta show you all a cool trick real quick. Well, I gotta make sure I get this just right. Just right. And brim straight up? No? Oh gosh, I had this working just before the stream started and it fell off. Hold on. I wanna get this just right, because Matt showed me this. Swatch. Welcome everybody to the next decade. Today is the Ultra stream. Now, this is a little bit different than what we usually do here at the next decade. We usually work on props and costumes and model kits and just generally talk about tokusatsu and stuff like that. But today is special. We have a couple of guests that have done voices for the English dub of Ultra Galaxy Fight: The Absolute Conspiracy. We have the voice actors for Ultraman Ken and the Ultraman Taiga. We have Matt and Alex joining us a little bit later today. So first, let me get through all my usual stuff. And then a couple minutes, we'll go on standby, and I'll bring in Matt, and we'll get started talking about all our fun things we have planned. So if you have any questions for our voice actors, go ahead and drop them in the chat. I'm going to be coming back in later. Do me a big favor. If you're a big fan of Ultraman and you want to get to know some of the stuff that went into making the newest Ultra Galaxy Fight, please share it around with your friends. Maybe they'll enjoy it too. Yeah. So yeah, I'm excited. Usually it's all Kamen right here all the time, but I'm trying to branch out a little bit more, trying to get into more different stuff. I like older Ultraman stuff. Like I remember seeing the original and Ultra 7 a while back and enjoying what I did see. I never had subtitles for them though, sadly. So now that we have Mill Creek and all these great DVDs and Blu-ray discs and all that, I'm getting a little bit more into Ultraman again, and it's a lot of fun. I remember jumping on a while back with Zero, and I really liked Zero. I liked all the stuff that Zero had for him, all those movies, but kind of fell off. And then Ultraman Z showed up, and I was like, oh, hey, what's up? I paid attention to Taiga a little bit, too, so the fact that we got Matthew here to do a little bit of chatting with us today is pretty exciting. I'm interested to hear what he has to say, especially about some of the work he had to do. So, yeah, I hope you all are doing really well in the chat today. Thank you all for coming in. I really appreciate it. If you have any questions, again, drop them in the chat. Again, if you want to get a hold of me quicker, best way to do it is super chat. I see it a lot faster than I do the other chat stuff. So if you want to do that, help support me, help support the channel, helps us be able to do more crazy stuff like this. So, yeah, and the last thing too, if you guys aren't subscribed, just go ahead and hit that subscribe down there. Just go for it. Beat up that notification bell too, because if I do more stuff like this in the future, and you want to see it, and you don't want to hear me complain on Twitter too much, being like, hey, it's here, it's starting, hello, go ahead and hit that notification bell on YouTube, and YouTube will tell you when I have these kind of things set up. I usually try to have the stream scheduled at least a few hours before the start time. So yeah, I usually try to have it around 9 o'clock on Saturday nights. That's Eastern Standard Time. That's when we usually do streams, and today's a Saturday stream, and we got a fun one. I'm excited to talk to these guys. So Craven Spider in the Chat is asking, what about the Netflix anime? Uh, you know, I actually like that Netflix anime a lot. I remember reading the manga. I'm just more so upset that the manga didn't become something else. There was something else those people were working on before then, but that's that's in the past. Can't worry about that now. The current Ultraman manga, though, and Ultraman anime is really, really cool. I enjoy it, and I can't wait to get some more of it, because, man, I want to see what else they have for us, especially the animation. They did some things I wasn't expecting them to do, and I'm eager to see the new stuff. I'm also excited about the new Gridman series that's coming out. If you guys haven't seen, there's a new trailer for Dynamax? Is that the name of it? I can't quite remember. I do remember. Or Dynazenon. That's what it is. That's what it was. My bad. I did remember. So go check that out. I think Subaraya put it up on their Twitter, and I think it's also on the Gridman official Twitter as well. So go check those out. Woo! I'm excited. Are y'all excited? I'm like actually like a little bit nervous. This is my first time trying to actually have professionals on the stream. You know, besides Bob. Bob's always professional though. Bob was great. He was a really fun guest, and I think we're gonna have him back hopefully sometime soon. So yeah, I don't really have too much Ultraman stuff, but I wanted to show a couple things before I bring in our first guest. Of course, I got the first Mill Creek DVD I grabbed, which was Return of Ultraman. It's the only one I haven't seen of the really early run, so I was really excited to check that one out. I also picked up these Ultraman Zero stories, except for I think these came out before Ultraman Zero was an actual Ultraman. So this is Ultraman Zero story. I haven't had a chance to look through these, so maybe at the end of the stream we'll go dig through them a little bit and see what you like. And then the last thing is bringing back an oldie that I brought up before. This is a Ultraman mask that I had 3D printed a while ago. So gotta talk about something we're gonna be doing with this hopefully next month. But we'll worry about all of this stuff at the end of the stream. Wait, who's Bob? Bob's scary. He's my buddy. He's a voice actor. He was Sugita in the Kuga motion comic I did a couple of months back. Actually, a few months back. Gosh, it's been that long. Anyways, he was on one of our last streams, last Saturday stream, I think. And we had a nice chat. Go check out his stuff if you haven't. So, usually I shill all my stuff. I'm going to wait till the very, very end. I want to wait till we got all the fun stuff out of the way first. Because, like, I can't even think straight about that. Like, forget it. I'm too excited to get into this discussion. Because I already talked with Matt a little bit ahead of this. And I'm sure y'all will appreciate him. He's got some fun stuff to talk about. And Alex, I haven't actually had a chance to speak with him yet. But I saw some of the stuff he's worked on. And I know some of my friends who love J-dramas especially are gonna love this dude. He's worked on a couple things, so I can't wait to ask him about that too. So, ooh, yeah, the Ultra Mask. I can't wait to talk about that some more. So, welcome in everybody. I really appreciate it. We got a good group coming in, and it's almost time for us to bring in our first guest. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this all set up with Matt, the voice of Ultraman Taiga, and we will get back here as quickly as we can. See you back here in the next decade very briefly.
雨が降っているハイウェイ俺は一人だアマゾンロロロロロロ言葉もわからぬ東京でやってくるのは敵ばかりロロロロロロ戦い進んで夜が明けりゃやがて明るい明日が来るロロロロロロ風が吹いているガード下俺は一人だアマゾンロロロロロロ自動車とヒューエレベーター出会う相手は敵ばかりロロロロロロ戦い進んで夜が明けりゃやがて明るい明日が来る
Alrighty, folks, we're all set up. Are you ready? Because he is, I'm sure. Can you give me a buddy go? Alright. Ready? Welcome back to the next decade, everyone. And we have Matt with us. What's up, man?
How's it going? What's up, everybody? I'm Matthew Masaru Barron, and my doll just fell down.
Uh-oh. All good. I have stuff falling off my shelves in my stream all the time, so I know the feeling very well.
Glad to hear that. It's a Matthew doll.
Oh, neat.
Yeah.
So, yeah, everyone, this is Matthew. He is currently going to be the voice of Ultraman Taiga in the new Ultra Galaxy fight, The Absolute Conspiracy. And
right.
The minute we saw that you got announced, I was like, I hope you can come on stream. And you were like the first person to respond. So thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
No, it's really nice to just, I love when a person just says, I want to do this. I'm going to send that guy a message. Let's see if it's possible, if it can happen. And, I think the world works better that way. If you know that the person's cool and, if you're cool about it, then just do it.
It just works out.
Yeah.
It's cool. So, just so everybody knows, Matt, you are a fan of Metalder, right?
Yes, I am.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I lived in Japan when I was.
Uh-oh. Do we lose you? Oh no. I think we just lost him for a second, folks. We're going to try and get him back as quickly as we can. Give him 1 second. His connection might stabilize. It's a little bit hard to do because we are streaming it to either sides of the planet right now. Oh, Hex came in with the $5. What's an Ultra's favorite console? A Swatch. Hey, Matt, are you back? We saw you move there for a second, man. I think we lost you. Give me 2 seconds, folks. I'm going to text him real quick. Make sure. Are you there?
No, how's now? How's now?
There. That's so much better. Okay, I thought we lost you for a minute, man.
Yeah.
It's okay. It happens all the time. My connection can get weird itself, so glad you're there.
Yeah.
Okay, so real quick about Metalder again, just in case people missed it. So you said you love Metalder, right?
Yeah, love Metalder. I used to live in Japan from kindergarten to third grade, and it was on just then. And I also watched, Mask Rider Black and other stuff, but just Metalder, the way it was made and the costume was just awesome.
Yeah, I love that outfit a lot. I like Kikaida a lot as well. So the kind of homage to some of that is, I always love seeing that, especially throughout the years. Over the decades, we had a lot of cool suits that reminded me of Kikaida a lot. And I'm just like, kind of wish we could just get another Kikaida TV show. But Metalder, I'm really hoping that somebody like Discotech or somebody like that grabs it. I would love to see that brought over here.
Yeah.
So in case anybody was going to ask ahead of time, those are his favorite tokusatsu characters. So I just want to get that out of the way first, because I know these guys are really excited and they want to get super deep into Toku, but I wanted to go more so into just how you did voice acting over in Japan, what your life is like over there, and then talk about, how you eventually got into the role of Ultraman Taiga.
For main thing was I came to Japan in the year 2000, end of 2000, I think. And I wanted to do Japanese entertainment. The reason why I wanted to do Japanese entertainment in Japan was because, Japanese stuff were getting really huge in the States. Dragon Ball, Sailor Moon, kanjis. Of course, that can be also in for Chinese writing and everything. And I thought, if Japan stuff is so big in the States now, what would happen if I go to Japan? And since my mother's Japanese and I lived in Japan from kindergarten to third grade, my Japanese was pretty decent. So I thought, why not try it the other way around? Moved to Japan, started doing some little acting and a bit of emceeing. And I had one anime that kind of started it. It was a thing called Bakumatsu Yankee, and artist was Monkey Punch, the one who does Lupin the Third.
Wow, I was about to say, holy crap!
Yeah, I was really happy. I was very lucky about it. They offered me to do the main character, which was the Yankee. Yeah, Bakumatsu Yankee. Reason why was because they didn't have anybody who could speak English and who could understand Japanese. So the director can explain how he wanted to do it, and I could just listen and just do it. So the others were pros, like the people who did Lupin the Third, Fujiko, and all those people were just around me.
Oh my god, my heart would have been pounding out of my chest. Good god.
So I was really nervous, but after I did it, they're like, "So where did you learn to do your voice acting? You were great." And I was like, "I never went to lessons or anything. I just did it."
That has to be so exciting to hear, especially if it's like one of your first gigs and they come at you with that. Wow, that had to be cool.
Yeah, they were all very happy with my work. They said, I'm definitely a pro. Go on with it. But voice acting and those voiceover stuff, you have to be in the right agency or the right place, or else you don't really get anime or tokusatsu voiceovers and all that. So for a while, I didn't get it. But I started doing radio and was doing a lot of just narrations. And
see, I noticed that on your IMDb that you actually got a voice role on Shenmue 2.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
It was one of those quickie jobs. They just they wanted someone who could speak English and Japanese, and they
Mm.
wanted someone who could speak uh, uh, Japaniglish, which is like you speak Japanese in like a foreigner way.
Right.
And I was really and in fact I got a lot of commercial narrations because I was good at that.
Oh, that's great though. That's what I wanted to actually bring up is stuff like that, because I know people want to get into voice acting, and I know a lot of people that watch my show also want to go to Japan for work eventually. So, that's one way you could do it if you can get yourself a foot in learning Japanese and then getting really good at it, and then you could do those two sides of it. That can open some doors for you, like it's worked for Matt here.
Oh yeah, definitely, definitely. And also just make sure you do things that you like, because a lot of this agencies in Japan, they tell you, oh, this is perfect for you, you should do this, you should do this, and then after a while I've seen a lot of people quitting this job because they it wasn't what they wanted to do.
Mm,
For me, I just thought, okay, I don't want to do this because it's a little too close to rated X.
gotcha.
And yeah, in some jobs, yeah, I'm not really fond of showing my figure because I thought I was doing an MC, not a model.
Actually doing an MC. No, I got you. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Yeah.
Oh, geez. Um, so, so like the freelancing part of it, because I know you said you were freelancing right now.
Yes, I am.
Okay, so let's talk about how did you end up meeting up and talking with the people from Subaraya and getting the role of Ultraman Taiga?
You know, uh, well, that came from my friend's office, my friend's
Mm,
agent. There are a lot of guys here after they've done a couple of works and they've done, you know, on camera work. They realize that they want to do something behind the camera.
mm.
And and um, he started his own agency with his father, and he was introducing a lot of foreigners who can speak Japanese, who do type of emceeing and narrating, voiceovers, and all those. And we did work together for a volleyball for the World Cup volleyball, and
Oh
he was
wow.
one of the and he just really liked the way I did my work, and he said, hey, listen, I got this job. It's one of those like superhero things. It's going to be a voiceover, but I think you would really do well in it. Are you interested? I said, yeah. What kind of superhero? Wait. It's not one of those like near rated X superhero stuff, is it? And he was like, yeah. Well, we'll send you your stuff, and if they like it, we can tell you. But it's something big. And when you told me it was something big, I thought big as like the job or big as a giant. Oh, it's probably Ultraman.
Oh, that must have been exciting.
Yeah, and I
Oh,
was right. And yeah, so we sent your demo. They liked it. You're definitely in the list now. You're not 100% there yet, but I want you to know it's Ultraman. And they're probably going to make you do Ultraman and maybe another bad guy or so. Yeah, once you get it, we'll tell you. And I was thinking maybe it's one of those just a quick Ultraman, like one of those like Ultramans who don't even have a name yet.
mm.
But then they told me you're Ultraman Taiga. I was like, wait a minute, isn't that Tato's son? Like, yeah. Oh,
Oh,
you know Ultraman? Yeah, well, of course. Yeah. So yeah, well, congratulations, you got it. And boom.
oh my gosh, that must have been. Oh, it must have been a fun day. I would have been calling all my
Oh yeah,
buddies like, "Yo, we're going out. Yakiniku on me. Let's go. Let's go."
something near not yakiniku, but I called my nephew
Mm.
back in and he's 5 years. He's still still young, and he loves Ultraman. And when I told him that, his eyes were just
Oh, that has to
serious.
be fun to be able to share that with your family too. So, oh
Yeah.
man, that's super fun. Oh my gosh, like I can't imagine. Like when I went out to Japan, I was just out there as a fan, and I was very fortunate to meet a bunch of people. and build up enough connections to where I know enough to be like, hey, I'm coming back. You want to hang out? And they'll be like, oh yeah, come over. We're doing this today. Can't tell anybody. And I'm like, okay. And I'll be sitting on secrets for like 2 weeks and scratching at my thighs like, I gotta tell somebody, help me. I'm not asking for anything like that. I'm super excited for this new movie because I also know it's directed by Koichi Sakamoto again, and his work has always been absolutely fantastic. And it took me so long to realize, oh man, I've been watching this guy since I was a kid, because he did Power Rangers and stuff like that. So I know it's a little bit different because you're doing voice acting, but was there ever any input from any trying to think about the best way to describe this? When they ask you to like do your voice for Ultraman, did they ask you for a certain type of demeanor or like a style? Like, did they want somebody with like gusto, or did they want you to like keep yourself as close to a certain style? That's what I'm asking, I guess.
Actually, I was really happy about that. So they send us the video. We take a look at it. We think of what the voice would be like. We go and do it. And usually the director would be like, yeah, could the voice be, you know, a higher pitch, or could you have a lower voice, or more energy, please?
Mm.
I went in and they just said, perfect, we want that. So
Just flat out. Oh, that's great.
yeah,
Ooh.
yeah. All I imagined was it's son of Tato, so
Mm.
not that old, probably, you know, just, you know, still maybe in his teen years, or maybe 2021 or something. And I
Mm.
imagined that, and like that's exactly what we wanted. It's perfect.
That, oh man, that must be fun to walk in there and absolutely nail something. Gosh, I really hope that this also leads to you getting to come back as Taro in multiple future videos, because I
Yeah.
know that especially Subaraya this year has been absolutely killer on their YouTube. And to my viewers, if you haven't checked it out yet, please go check out Ultraman Official. They have so many different Ultraman things you can check out on there, and there are a couple other English voice acted Ultraman specials that you can go check out right now if you are eager and can't wait to watch some Ultra Galaxy fight. So the first one's out there. Go check that out. But wait till after my stream. We got more coming. So, I also saw that you are actually a fan of the kaiju Zeton. Is that right?
Oh yeah.
Oh, so I figured I'd tell you a fun little story. I do cosplay a lot. So a couple of years ago, I went to Japan World Heroes out in California, and they had it was the first one we had, and there was a costume contest, and I went up against a Zeton and a Space Sheriff Gavan, and Zeton and Gavan both kicked my butt. But now I got something in common with Ultraman. We both got our asses kicked by Zeton, so what's up? So yeah, as soon as I saw that, I had to tell you, he's creepy. I
Here's
love him.
what I tell you. One of the reasons why I also like Zeton is because he's not a kaiju. He's a space dinosaur.
Oh, so got a different classification entirely.
Yeah. Yeah. When Zeton came out, it was Uchu Kyoryu. Kyoryu means dinosaur.
Right.
And I thought, this guy is different from the other kaiju. That's actually kind of cool, and that's also the reason why I liked it.
Oh, it just he creeps me out. The flashing lights, the black and everything. It's just just the whole setup and shape of him. It's like the minute I see him pop up in a movie, I'm like, oh, here we go. Oh, it's like trying to think about the best way to describe it. Do you ever see an overexcited Dragon Ball Z fan talking about just Dragon Ball Z and how they're so hyped about the fights and they get themselves in like a fighting pose about it and everything? I'm like that when it comes to Zeton. So yeah. All right.
Yeah.
So we are getting close to our time here, but I want to talk about a couple more things. You said you're originally from Seattle.
Yes.
Are you okay? So have you ever had Ivar's clam chowder? Honestly,
Of course. Of course.
Isn't it the clam chowder? It's like the best one.
Here's the thing. Like, a lot of people, when they hear Seattle, it's either Starbucks, yeah, or Seattle Mariners, especially if you're in Japan. It's
Right.
either Starbucks. And I always think, what about Ivar's, man?
Exactly. Oh my
Yeah.
god, I miss it so much.
Yeah,
It's
it's great powder.
if I was rich, I would have it frozen and sent to me. I swear, I can't. I just can't though.
Well,
I'm all the way on the other side of the country, so it's killing me.
you know what? If I had the cash in the moolah, I'd probably have Ivar's in Japan.
Oh
I
my
would
gosh.
Up for that, man.
I bet you they would love it. Like, it would be something that can appeal to Americans and also the locals, I think. Well, not Americans, excuse me. I mean tourists. I always say Americans, but I always meant tourists. Well, then again, let's be real. We're the pickiest of the eaters out there. Anyways. So, yeah, that's another thing I also wanted to mention. Like, when people bring up the Mariners, like, when I was out in Japan, they were like, oh, do you like baseball? And it's like, oh, yeah, I love baseball. Ichiro Suzuki. Let's go, #1. He actually fumbled a ball really early 2000s, and I was able to catch it, and he signed that thing and passed it back off to me, which was super cool. It's buried somewhere in storage, but if I can ever find it again, I'll send you a picture, because, like, it's my favorite memory of the Mariners. It's Ichiro.
You know, if there was a translator who was right next to Ichiro, that's my big brother.
Really?
Yeah, he used to be the translator for Ichiro until he went to Yankee.
That's crazy. I had no idea. That's so cool.
Yeah.
So I mean, see, I'm glad we reached out. I'm probably gonna give you another call sometime in the future so we could hang out like this again. Chatting with you is so much fun, dude. I really appreciate it. Oh my gosh.
You.
So go through one more thing. If you have any messages for the Ultraman fans watching right now, what do you want to say to these guys and gals? Excuse me.
You know, definitely after you watch the new one that's coming up, please brag about it, talk about it to everyone. You know, I'm really surprised why Ultraman is not so big like Dragon Ball and Mask Rider in the States and other countries, because it's definitely one of the greatest works in Japan for tokusatsu. So, you know, don't just pop it up on, you know, Twitter or Instagrams and all. Just, like, you know, have a chat with your friends, and, you know, when you're having a coffee or brewskis or whatever, and please spread it around, because it's one of the best superheroes in the world.
Yeah, I firmly agree, and this is also part of the reason why I try to do shows like this and been talking about tokusatsu in general. While Kamen Rider is my absolute favorite, tokusatsu just in general is one of the most fun types of movies and TV shows that you can watch. They are super inviting, and like you said, you can have it when you're sitting there having a coffee with the friends, or go having a brew, and hell, if you're having a brew with your friends, might be able to turn it into a drinking game. Just saying.
Yeah.
Although we don't usually encourage all that here. It's a kid's show. Don't forget that. So make sure your kids are away. Make sure your little brother's not watching.
Drink some water.
Water. Yeah, it's water. Totally not vodka. Yeah. Anyways. All right, Matt. I need to get set up to get Alex on stream here in a couple minutes. So I'm going to go ahead and let you go. But thank you so much for joining us. I'll have you back again in the future. Absolutely. I want to remind everybody real quick that The Absolute Conspiracy comes out on November 22nd on the Ultraman official channel. Please go subscribe to them, go check it out, and wait for the English dub version, because we get to hear our buddy Matt here do his best buddy go. So actually, before we go, can you give us a buddy go?
Buddy go?
Yeah.
I really want you.
Just one, please.
I was just really trying to mess with you. It's okay. Buddy go.
Woo! All right, man. Thank you so much. We'll catch you next time. And y'all, I'll be back in just a few minutes.
誰が吹くのかあの口笛は正義の使者の勝利の印悪を倒すと喜 やってくる知恵と力と勇気と愛の僕らのライダーストロンガー僕らの兄貴ジョシゲルどこで吹くのかあの口笛は正義の使者の合図の印悪を探してやってきてわざと電気と正義の光
Wasn't that fun, everyone?
僕らのライダーストロンガー僕らの
Please relax. Please just wait. We got something extra exciting. We have Alex Hunter, the voice of Ultraman Ken, joining us next. See y'all soon.
ロロロロロロ雨が降っているハイウェイ俺は一人だアマゾンロロロロロロ言葉もわからぬ東京でやってくるのは敵ばかりドロロドロロ戦い進んで夜が明けりゃやがて明るい明日が来るロロロロロロ風が吹いているガードした俺は一人だアマゾンロロロロロロ自動車と急エレベーター出会う相手は敵ばかりロロロロロロ戦い進んで夜が明けりゃやがて明るい明日が来る
everyone. Just want to let y'all know we're going to get Alex in here very shortly. Just realized my mic's on the other side of the room, so I'm going to shout. Sorry. So yeah, just hang in there. We'll be back shortly. Just getting all the, all the Zoom stuff worked out, because streaming's a absolute nightmare sometimes. We'll be back shortly. I hope you enjoyed the first part. Second part's going to be just as fun. Catch you soon.
誰が吹くのかあの口笛は正義の使者の勝利の印悪を倒すとやってくる知恵と力と勇気と愛の僕らのライダーストロンガー僕らの兄貴ジョシゲルどこで吹くのかあの口笛は正義の使者の合図の印悪を探してやってきてわざと電気と正義の光僕らのライダーストロンガー僕らの兄貴雨が降っているハイウェイ俺は一人だアマゾンロロロロロロ言葉もわからぬ東京でやってくるのは敵ばかりロロロロロロ戦い進んで夜が明けりゃやがて明るい明日が来るロロロロロロ
Okay, folks, just as a quick heads up, Alex just got in contact with me. We should be starting here pretty soon. Pretty soon. Probably within the next 5 to 10 minutes at absolute most, maybe less. Just hang in there. We should be back shortly. Thank you so much for your patience.
ロロロ自動車と急エレベーター出会う相手は敵ばかりロロロロロロ戦い進んで夜が明けりゃやがて明るい明日が来る
I hope you're excited, because I sure am. It's time for our next guest. Everyone, welcome Alex. Alex Hunter, thank you so much for joining us today. I really, really, really appreciate this, man. So for those of you who don't know, Alex is the voice of Ultraman Ken in the upcoming Ultraman Ultra Galaxy Fight, The Absolute Conspiracy. Alex, say hi, man.
Hello, everyone. I am honored to be here. This is my first kind of foray into the Ultraman field and the extended universe of everything else connected and related to that. So I'm very happy to be here, and hopefully I can give y'all some good, interesting information, some nuggets of knowledge, if you will.
That's exciting. Ooh. So first off, before we get too far into it, what I want to express to the fans is that you are new to Tokusatsu. This is like your first project with Toku, right? Cool.
Yes, it is. Yes.
So, with that being said, because he's new to it, we have to let go of some of the questions that we asked Matt, because he's been in Japan for a while. He's been all up and down. He was there when he was a kid, so he knows each and everything. But I do know for a fact I have a few fans in my chat that are huge fans of the High and Low series. And you got to work on the High and Low movie. Could you tell us a little bit about that, please?
Yeah, sure. I actually worked on two of the High and Lows. One was a movie, the other was the series. In the movie, I was in one of the guys in the underground fight scene. I was fighting, I think his name is Mindy. And we were just it was like a circle, like Fight Club kind of thing, and I was fighting him. And of course I lost because I'm not the star. I'm not,
right.
It's
okay.
Yeah.
It's what you got to do for the movie, right?
Yeah, exactly. That's the burden I must bear as an actor, is I don't always get to win. And then in the series, I again was a bad guy. I often get cast as a bad guy. And I was a child kidnapper. And yeah, that's a tough one.
It's been a different role, yeah.
And in that scene, I had a kid in a burlap sack over my shoulder, and the kid was screaming for help. And then one of the exile dudes, one of the younger generation, he tracked us down to a parking garage and kicked my ass, and there was a little bit of blood and stuff. And then that was the end of that.
It must have been fun though. Like, I know a lot of the Japanese action sets can be pretty wild. Do you remember any like crazy injuries or anything like that happening on set, or was mostly everything pretty safe over there?
Fortunately for me, I haven't really suffered any serious injuries. I've done, and with that in mind, I had to do a scene where I got hit by a car for an Amazon Prime drama series. And in that, it was this old school stunt driver, this old Japanese guy who really knew his stuff. So I wasn't worried that he would mess up, but I'd never done a car hit stunt before. So, you gotta know how to lay yourself out just right, or else you're gonna hurt yourself. Yeah, exactly.
Stunt work's no joke if you aren't paying attention. You can't just jump on top of a car and be like, all right, I'm fine, nothing broke. You really gotta be ready for those kind of impacts.
Yeah. And we had to do a few takes because the timing's really important, because they had me hooked up to some wires so they could pull me off the car to make it look like I got hit. And so we had to time that with the car braking and me kind of jumping onto the car. That was injury free. Another one, I got thrown out of a van into a pile of trash with my arms and feet bound. So you gotta fall properly, or you might land on your face and mess up the moneymaker.
Exactly. Well, I mean, that's tough, because like I'm thinking you have to have your arms and legs bound up, and I know you guys, when you take falls, you usually try to cradle yourself before you hit the ground. Right. I can't imagine. Jeez. This is why I like talking to people like people that work in the industry that aren't like necessarily like right up front, but the people that do stuff like stunts or voice acting, is that you get to learn how much of these different things actually go into so many shows that you love. Like for me, that's Tokusatsu and stuff like that, and that's a huge chunk of it is stunt actors and voice actors. And I don't think a lot of people take into consideration that kind of stuff. So like more power to you, man. It's not an easy job, and the fact that you're getting it done that well, like hell yeah, man, keep it up. Proud of you.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it.
Super impressive. So I'm curious, was the Amazon project you were talking about the Benza?
No, 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 no. That was Final Life or something like that. It was a few years ago. I don't actually remember the specific name of that
Mm.
project. But no, the Benza, actually, you can kind of see the poster on my wall in the back
Oh
here.
yeah, okay.
That's a completely different project, and that is the cast is half non-Japanese, half Japanese, and
Mm.
all of us except for one person act in Japanese. And the one person who doesn't act in Japanese is a Korean guy, and the whole point is for him to speak Korean, and nobody understands what he's saying throughout the whole series. So, it's
He's one of
planned
those
like
kind of characters. Okay, and that's
exactly.
also available on Amazon as well, right?
Yeah, we got two on Amazon Prime. We have the Benza, and then we have Benza English. And real quick, if I can just explain
Yeah,
the difference between the two.
go for it. Go for it.
Um, the Benza is a comedic drama series about these friends. And for those who don't speak Japanese, Benza means toilet seat in Japanese. And it starts with these two friends who they have a cracked toilet seat. And anybody who's used a cracked toilet seat knows it's uncomfortable when it,
Mm.
when it pinches. So they got to figure out how to get a new toilet seat in Japan. And it just turns into this big multi-dimensional adventure. Um, and I play a character in that named David. Um, that the whole first season is on Amazon Prime, and in this winter we're going to be shooting the second season actually. And then Benza English is, if anybody has seen the NHK style English education programs that are aimed at teaching simple English to Japanese people, we are spoofing that.
Oh my
Um,
gosh.
so we're teaching English. It's educational,
Uh-huh.
but we teach the kind of, some might question the propriety of the English that we teach, but it's also real life stuff. Like, what do you say if you get fired and you want to get fired with dignity? Or if you're trying to pick somebody up, or just random situations like
Mm.
that. And we have corners. And my corner, David's corner, is it's a sexy corner, we could say. And
Okay.
the English he teaches sometimes is sexy, but oftentimes it's not sexy, but he just says it as if he's talking about something sexy. So if he
Gotcha.
gets fired and he's leaving the job, say something scathing but sexy, you know?
Mm.
Um, and that's kind of his whole vibe in English. But in the Benza series, where I'm acting in Japanese, it's a complete 180, and the Japanese that I use in the Benza is feudal samurai era Japanese. So he's very like straight back, very
Very, very
stoic.
serious. Yeah. So very like
Exactly.
Gasho Zakuri kind of style. Like hands
Exactly.
together.
Exactly.
Yeah, gotcha.
Yeah. So
Rad.
there's two Davids.
Cool,
The
cool.
proper stoic one, and then the one who's just oozing sex. And um, we just released a Benza RPG game for the iPhone, actually.
Oh, cool. Yeah,
Yeah,
actually, after the stream, do you mind linking that to me so I can share it with everyone?
definitely, definitely, I will do that.
That's rad. Cool. So if you guys are excited about that and you want to check out those projects, go over to Amazon Prime. You can go check them out there. That's the Benza and Benza English. And then we have a game that you can play alongside it too. That's pretty cool, man. Oh,
Thank you very
geez.
much. Thank you very much.
So, let's start moving a little bit closer towards talking about how did you end up getting over to Japan? What brought you over there?
My first time here was when I was going to university. I did a 6 month study abroad here,
Hmm.
and that was my first time leaving America.
Hmm.
I'd been to Canada, but near the border, there's not much difference between America and Canada,
Right.
around
Yeah.
that vicinity. So my first major cultural outing was to Japan. And it was cool, man, because I grew up, my brother and we grew up playing video games and watching anime and stuff. And
Hmm.
I was into that stuff before I knew that it was from Japan. Like I was playing Zelda and Mario and Final Fantasy and all that stuff. I didn't know. I just thought it was video games. You know, I
Right.
lived in America. Like, all right, it must be an American video game. It's in English.
Gotcha.
You know, it's 5 years
No,
old. What do you want?
I know that feeling too. Like once it hit me, like, oh hey, Power Rangers is a cut up show from Japan. What? Like that's when doors flew open for me too, and I was just like, oh, and that's always a fun experience, especially when you finally realize where it's from. You can be like, oh, that's a place I can go. Oh, yeah.
Exactly. Exactly. So I had already just innately been interested in that kind of thing.
Mm,
And then, you know, I came over here, and at the time my Japanese wasn't very good. Like I could say very basic things, but I couldn't have a conversation. And
mm.
I liked seeing myself progress in the language, because after about the first 3 months, I hit a switching point and I was actually able to start having some simple conversations, but I was able to communicate.
Right.
And
Yeah. Same here. That was my experience in my first 3 months too. Like,
Mhm.
I admittedly I haven't kept up with it, so I've lost some of it. But
Yeah.
whenever I get a hold of my Japanese friends, like, it comes back really quickly, and a lot of my buddies say I talk like an angry school kid, but I'll take it because at least I can talk. So,
Hey man, as long as you can communicate your feelings,
yeah,
whatever.
yeah. But it's always wonderful when you finally get to that point where you can finally start talking to people, because then the people that saw you struggling before, they're usually pretty welcoming and willing to help you, especially if you're struggling with more language stuff. So,
Yeah.
especially the
Yeah.
countryside, I met some wonderful people out there. Speaking of, are you like in the city, or do you like to live like further outside of all of that?
Well, I live in Western Tokyo,
Mm,
so
okay.
it's within skipping distance to the central hubs, Shibuya, Shinjuku, you know,
Mm.
those areas.
You
But
like in the Tachikawa area?
actually, I'm not that far west, but I can get to Tachikawa. Um, if I catch the right train, I could be there from my home within a half hour from when I leave
Gotcha.
the door.
Okay,
Yeah,
because I was actually further west than that. I was about a half hour away from Tachikawa to the
it's a
west.
beautiful area.
Oh God, I love it. And the people out there are super kind. Food out there is
Hmm.
wonderful. If you ever just need to take like a break and you want to go to like a fun, chilled out place,
Hmm.
Mizuho, that area right there,
Hmm.
Tonogaya area, it's to die for, man. It's like my favorite. Like, if I have to die somewhere, I want it to be right here, next to this KFC and this Family Mart.
The furthest I went west was the Akigawa area.
Okay,
Yeah, I went
that's pretty
over
far out
there
there.
just during the summer for just a little 2 night trip just to kind of relax. And Corona, you know, I wasn't working at the time because
Right?
the entertainment industry just shut down. So I was like, all right,
Yeah.
I'm gonna go to the mountains and play in the rivers and go hiking for a couple days and just chill.
I mean,
And that
the
was awesome.
countryside out there is beautiful. Just the nature in general is really nice too. Like, especially if you're a big like hiking like nut, like go to Japan.
Mhm.
You're gonna find some great trails out there. I was hiking a lot of places because I didn't want to spend too much money on taxis or, uh, taking the train. So I would like actually walk like half a day to get from one location to another just to film stuff for that documentary project I was telling you about a little while ago.
Hmm.
Um,
That's
God,
awesome.
it's a fun place. I'm glad you're doing well out there too, man. Like I wish I could go out there and do that, but the visa process, man, that's a pain in the butt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, it is. Um, my first 3 years here, I wasn't in Tokyo actually. I was down in Kyushu living in Miyazaki Prefecture.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and I was like, you want to talk about mountains? Like I was literally surrounded by mountains because I lived in a village in a mountain valley,
Mm.
and it was so rural that like the nearest convenience store I had to drive 20 minutes by car. So it was
Yikes.
deep, but it was
Yeah.
great, man. It was beautiful out there, and it's just so serene, so
Yeah.
peaceful. And I was a
It's so
teacher.
peaceful. And then you get a hornet that flies in front of you and you realize it's bigger than your index finger and you're like, "Oh hell no, I want to go home."
Yep,
That was
and the
no.
centipedes, man.
Oh, the
Those
centipedes, ah.
no joke, no joke.
Those things are huge. And then the mantises that are like a foot long. Like God. Other than the bugs, I love the place. It's great.
Man, real quick, have you heard of a mantid fly?
A mantid fly. No, I don't think I've heard of one of those.
Yeah.
What's that?
The Japanese word is kamakiri modoki.
Okay.
So, I saw my first one when I was down in Miyazaki, and the top half looks like a praying mantis. It has like that kind of head, and it
Mm,
has the
the
arms,
arms, right.
but the back half looks like one of those big hornets.
Oh,
So
hell
when I
no.
first saw it, I was freaking out. I was like, I couldn't process it. I was like, does it sting? It, what is? And then I talked to a friend who was an entomologist.
uh,
I sent her a picture, and she told me it was a mantis fly, and apparently it's just like a mimic insect because it's not actually related to either hornets or praying mantises, but it
wow.
just happens to look like both of them had a baby. So I don't.
That,
Nature, damn nature, you scary.
yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and Google that. So if I ever run into those in the wild, I won't be as shocked. They'll be able to find me
Yeah.
somewhere. I'll scream loud enough. Good God. Well, thank you for the nightmare fuel. I greatly appreciate that. Uh, so let's talk about how did you go about getting the gig? Did you go through an agency? Were you freelancing at the time? Did you just happen to know somebody that was like, hey, I have a thing happening? How'd you get the role of Ultraman Ken?
Right, and actually came through connections. I do have my agency, but also I do get private offers as well.
Mm,
So this was a private offer that I received, and it was just someone knew I was in the business. You know,
hmm
I had spoken with Matthew, who's much deeper in that world than I am, about
right.
how I can get more voice jobs because it's a very small community over here, and
Mm,
it can be hard to get into that community because they tend to reuse the same people for projects. So I was kind of just putting my antenna out there, trying to um, just get little sparks here and there. So I got contacted and
mm,
offered to audition for the not it wasn't Ken at the time, but it was just send in your voice auditions with different voices, and if we like you and can use you, we'll assign you one of the roles.
mm.
So I took quite a few voice auditions of, like, I did good guys, I did bad guys, I did monsters, just trying to send whatever I could think of to them to show them, diversity of
Mm.
things I can do with my voice, and just to try to make a good impression. And fortunately, I got picked up for the job, and that was awesome because I've been trying to do more and more voice gigs. The more I do them, the more I enjoy doing them. So that was a big win
Right.
for me.
I'm glad. And it's again, I was telling people when we were talking to Matt, a lot of it comes from like who you know. So like make friends. You never know who's going to be working on something, and they might reach out to you. I've done that with a lot of my projects too, where just was like, oh
Mhm.
hey, I know somebody that could do this, and I'll reach out to them. They'll be like, yeah, sure, it's no problem. So hearing that you were able to do this whole audition process and they snatched you up, that's super exciting. And again, this is your first tokusatsu project like ever.
Yeah.
Ah,
Yes.
okay, cool. So after the stream's over with and we disconnect and everything else like that, I'm gonna send you a couple links to my buddies. One of my friends runs a bar. Well, actually, two of my friends run a bar. One of them works with Kamen Rider, and the other one works with Super Sentai. So
Oh,
yeah,
dope.
it's all about who you know, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Before I was even acting, when I was down in Kyushu, I met the old dude who plays Kamen Rider, actually.
Oh, the original, Hiroshi Fujioka,
He was pretty aged, so I would probably say yeah.
older samurai looking guy, shorter hair.
Yeah. Yeah, and
Okay.
this was before I really knew anything, and I didn't even know who Kamen Rider was, because this is like 8 years ago.
Yeah.
And he visited our village, just making an appearance, and everybody was like freaking out, and they told me it was Kamen Rider, and he had like on his leather jacket and stuff, and he looked
Yeah.
like
No, it's Fujioka. Yeah, you met a walking Japanese legend. My gosh,
yeah. So I guess that
that's
was
so
my
cool.
first introduction to that world, actually, like 8 years ago. Yeah.
Oh man, I would not know how to handle myself. I'm a huge fan of Fujioka because he also does a lot of old school samurai movies and stuff. So like if you ever seen his stuff, please go check it out. And
Yeah.
if you get a chance to meet him again, go for it too, because the guy is just he's Segata Sanshiro. He promoted the Sega Saturn like a boss. Like I don't care what you say about the system. Those commercials are awesome. Oh man, so you were discussing earlier how you were really into games and anime and stuff like that when you were younger. So
Yeah.
now that you're out there working in Japan, let's say you had a absolute dream job drop in front of you and you snatched it up, you auditioned and they gave it to you on the spot. And now
Mhm.
you have that dream job and you're losing your mind. What would that dream job be? What would that role be?
Ooh. Okay. Um, One option would be to have to be the voice actor of a really badass anime character.
Okay.
That would be one, and like a series, so it's a job that will go on for many seasons. Um,
Gotcha.
Another
Gotcha.
one would be to do the 3D modeling,
Mm.
the the motion capture, and the voice for a video game character. Like I want the character to look like me, to move like me, and sound like me.
Sound like it.
So
Okay.
something like Metal Gear Solid, or even
Oh. Oh,
Final
you're speaking my
Fantasy.
language, my man.
You know
Oh,
what I mean? One
yeah.
of my friends did the he did a lot of the motion capture for Metal Gear Solid 3 when they were in the jungle, like
That's
the
awesome.
QC stuff. Yeah,
3 is one of my
and
favorites. I love that game. Okay, please continue. I want to hear more.
now when I heard that from him, I was like, you could do that? Because this was when I was still new in the industry and I
Yeah,
didn't
yeah, yeah.
know all the different moving parts. And when he told me he did that, and I was like, bro, in high school I was playing your moves, you know. So
That's
that would be cool.
it's so exciting when like you meet somebody that worked on something and you know exactly what they're talking about and you're like, "Oh, wait." And like it's that excitement. And again, this is something that feeds back into the tokusatsu is that there's so many things that people have to do to make these shows possible that meeting
Yeah.
anybody that can get into the industry and can make some of these things happen is a absolute dream. So the fact I've gotten to add you to that list for me personally is awesome. Thank you so much for that, man.
Oh, man, thank you.
And dude, I hope you get to do something with 3D CG and motion capture and all that. And it's only getting bigger and better.
Mhm,
There's this new thing called digital on-set production where
mhm.
it's like a virtual set where they use Unreal Engine on a projector behind you and they can make you look like you're anywhere and all they have to do is just change the lighting in the room and that's the only
So,
changes. So they are also moving it into where they're going to have 3D characters walking behind you so that actor has something to bounce off of.
oh
So
wow.
maybe start looking around some more movie theaters and or movie studios and stuff like that because it might be looking for people that could do mocap for that kind of stuff. Imagine if you could be used 300 years from now. That'd be pretty
That would
crazy.
that would be awesome, man. Excuse me, the closest I've gotten, I did 3D body scanning for Resident Evil 8,
Oh,
which
oh,
they
oh,
dropped the
okay.
trailer so I could talk about it now.
So are you in the trailer? Any of your
Well,
emotions?
my
If you
my
can't say anything, just
body,
don't worry.
well, it's not that. It doesn't look like me, but they used my body
Mm.
for the build of the zombies, some
Oh
of the
wow.
zombies, and also one of the bosses or sub bosses. They put me in his outfit and they just had me in this room of just cameras all around me and they had me do different poses and stand in different positions. So it will be my body in the game, but it's not going to look anything like me. But that's still pretty close
I
to
mean, that's
being
still
pretty cool to be
crazy.
that close in the process. Yeah.
I mean, how it's got to be a strange feeling when you're finally getting up to that part in the game. You're like, oh, I did that. That was me.
My abs, those are my abs right there. You know.
uh, uh,
But that was cool because I went to the Capcom headquarters in Osaka for
uh,
those jobs. Yeah,
that'd be fun.
man,
Last time I talked to
it was
anybody
cool, man.
from Capcom, gosh, it was 2014. KG, no wait, no, because he wasn't Capcom at the time. It was KG Iwafune, the guy that did the original Mega Man series.
Oh, word.
Yes, I got to interview him for a little bit, and that was a lot of fun because we actually ended up meeting after the event and just sitting and talking with an interpreter, talking about like old school Japanese stuff that he loves. And the dude's a freak from Mazinger, and that's where he got the feat for Mega Man. I thought that was a lot of fun. But
That's awesome.
Resident Evil, man, like my God, I am a huge fan of the series. I don't care when
Mhm.
people get too upset about some of the other things about it. If it says RE, I'm there. So knowing that you got to work on that, that's cool. Now I got to say I got that degree of separation there too.
There you
Absolutely
go.
wild. Ah, so before we move along, is there anything about Japan that you think should be everywhere? Like that one thing that's like, oh man, I wish this was something every country had.
Ooh, ooh, that's a big question. Um, well, I'm from Washington State.
Oh, get out. Me too. What part?
Olympia.
Olympia? Oh, I was from Seattle.
Okay,
Yeah,
close enough,
yeah,
man.
yeah, close enough. But I moved to Raleigh when I was like 11 or so. But
Wow,
I have a warm spot for Seattle. Always do. Love that place.
small world, man.
I'll
Golly,
say.
I've met a few people from that area. It's crazy. And where was I going with that? Oh, so in Olympia, we just got buses. Seattle, they got the train and stuff a little bit
Mm,
going on, but the transportation system here is so good
yeah.
that you don't need a car in Tokyo. It would be nice to not need a car if I ever went back home,
Yeah.
for to
I
live, or that would be dope. And the national healthcare is really nice too.
yeah.
I can go get my teeth cleaned at the dentist for about $30
Oh
every
my
every
gosh.
every 3 months or so, and that's
Gosh,
who needs
I would
dental insurance? You know what I
I
mean?
know, right? I know, but I got actually a little bit ill one day when I was in Japan, and I started panicking because I was like, oh man, I'm not gonna be able to afford the bill. What's happening? And my
Mhm.
buddy Ag, he like walks over to me and he's like, has his translator out, and he's like, is everything okay? And I'm like, I think I'm dying. And he goes, oh, you want to go to the hospital? It's like I can't afford it, and he like looks at me like I'm insane, and he's like, pulls out my wallet and he pulls out three thousands, and he's just like, you're good. What are you talking about? And I'm like confused, and then it just turns out I just ate something weird. I was fine a couple minutes later. Anyways,
Yeah,
that
it's
was
always something to collect.
shocking. Yeah, gosh, I'm about to go out there and I want to go to the dentist for $30, man.
Yeah,
Got me
and,
all
and the
jealous and
thing
everything.
is, I had to get used to going because back home, you only go, when it's really important to
Right.
get something checked out. And when I was here for the first couple years, I was just still in that mode. And
Mm,
then when I finally went to the dentist, I was like, 3,000 yen or $30 to get my teeth cleaned. And then I moved to Tokyo and there's clinics everywhere. And I was like, oh man,
everywhere.
my foot itches. Let me go get that looked at.
uh, that's what I love
And
about
then
it too. Uh,
for about $10, you get some ointment or whatever, or you go to the ears, nose, and throat doctor if your
mm.
nose is weird, and it's just $10 here, $10 there. It's amazing, man.
Oh my gosh. No, I just need to get back out there so bad. Jeez. As soon as this Corona thing is done, I'm flying my butt out there. I'm gonna drop my butt at this place in Tachikawa called Meat Punch. It's my favorite yakiniku place. I'm gonna
Yeet
sit there. I'm gonna
time.
get Meat Punch. It's awesome. Um,
That's amazing.
tell you what, man. Whenever I get back out there, I'll holler at you and I'll take you to Meat Punch with me. How about that? Sound like a plan?
Definitely, dude.
Rad.
Definitely, I'm down for that 100%.
All right. So we're gonna wrap it up here in just a few minutes, but before we go, I wanted to remind everybody that Ultraman's Ultra Galaxy Fight, the Absolute Conspiracy, comes out on November 22nd. It's only on the Ultraman official channel, so go give them a subscribe real quick. Go check out all their stuff, and go check out the previous Ultra Galaxy fights. This one is super exciting because we got Koichi Sakamoto doing more action for Ultraman. And hey, Alex, do you know Koichi Sakamoto at all? It's okay if
Here's
you don't.
here's a here's a problem. I'm really bad with names.
Mm,
I've worked with a few Japanese stunt coordinators.
okay.
Um, is is he the guy who did the Rurouni Kenshin movies action
Oh,
sequence? No, that's
I don't know if
Taniguchi.
that was yeah, but the fact you know him too. Oh
Taniguchi
my,
stuff.
the Kenshin movies are like some of my favorite action movies like ever. And also Takeru Sato, he was a Kamen Rider and now he's also Rurouni Kenshin in those movies. So
Mhm,
like
mhm, mhm.
yeah, no, big fan of those. Shoot, you're killing me with all this stuff, man. We're gonna
I'm
I'm gonna
sorry. I'm really bad with names though. I've
no, you're
always
you're
been
fine.
terrible.
So, Koichi Sakamoto, he was actually the he did a lot of stunts and direction for Power Rangers back in the day,
Okay,
and
okay,
he's
yeah,
also
yeah,
done
yeah.
stuff for Kamen Rider as well, and he's been doing Ultraman the last few years, and whatever that guy touches comes out beautifully, like every friggin' time. And I'm sure you've seen it from some of your work in the booth, but God,
Yeah.
God, Sakamoto is a gift, and I'm super excited to see this newest Ultraman video. It's exciting, and getting you on this stream right here has been an absolute dream. Alex, thank you so much for joining us, man.
Thank you very much for having me. It's much appreciated.
So before we go, could you tell us a little bit about who Ultraman Ken is from what you've learned about him, so we can get some people excited
Mhm.
to check out this new movie?
So Ken is one of those characters who has a very strong moral fiber, a very he's confident in his moral compass. So you know, if anybody who's seen One Piece, you know, there are those people who are all about Seigi, all about justice and what's right. And he's like that. So he will refrain from letting his emotions get out of whack. You know, he keeps himself in control even when he is in the heat of battle. He's still cognizant of the ramifications or the consequences of his actions. And he tries to, you know, just keep those things in mind when he's, you know, with his, when he's fighting or when he's just in his daily life. And I thought that was it was cool because it allowed me to give him that kind of strong, righteous voice, but not arrogant righteous. You know what I mean? It was a good exercise for my vocal acting to portray him, and also his older version, Father of Ultra.
Father of Ultra. Yep.
I had to keep those same qualities of his personality, but age it, which sounds easy, but it's a little more difficult to just take the voice that you have and then just make it sound older, but not like cliche older, like, you don't want to just be talking like that, you know.
Right.
Yeah, that was a really cool, interesting process. And I love his horns, man. When they told me I was playing Ken and I saw him and I just saw the horns, like, this is a bad dude right here. I don't.
Dude, he's got the huge horns, and then when he's Father of Ultra, he's got the big bushy beard and not just the mutton chops. Like, Ken's a gift, and like hearing how you just described him, like, man, I know that they put him in the best of hands. So I am so excited to see what we get out of this. Again, one more time, folks. Ultra Galaxy Fight, The Absolute Conspiracy comes out on November 22nd. Please go subscribe to Ultraman Official. Go check it out. Be ready for it. And Alex, before you go, I wanted to relay a message from Matt. He wanted to say he was super glad to be able to work with you again, and he hopes that you can get more gigs like this in the future. And if you ever need more help with tokusatsu stuff, holler.
Oh, man. Thank you for that. I'll have to message him later, but and give my thanks. But thank you for passing on the message. And he's a good guy, man. He actually, when I first contacted him, he just called me immediately, and we just had a nice talk about voice stuff on the phone and stuff. He's a really good dude.
Yeah, and I had a good time talking to him.
A lot of appreciation.
Yeah. So, I actually asked him earlier, and so I figure I'll ask you here. After The Absolute Conspiracy comes out in sometime in December, would you and Matt like to join me one more time so we can actually talk about the movie a bit?
Oh, definitely, man. Yeah, let's make it
awesome. All right. So, hey, everybody in the stream, if you hear that, go ahead and subscribe. Hit that little notification bell because you're not going to want to miss that. It should happen sometime, hopefully, in December. Alex, dude, thank you so much. I cannot wait to chat with you again. The stream's been absolutely losing their mind this whole time, so thank you so much. Seriously, thank you.
It was a lot of fun, man. Thank you so much for having me on. I appreciate you.
Yeah. All right, man. So we'll catch you next time. And hey, stream, I'll be back in just a few minutes to do our wrap-up, and then we'll get on out of here. So stay tuned. We'll be back soon. Catch you in a bit.
Bye, everybody.
誰が吹くのかあの口笛は正義の使者の勝利の印悪を倒すとやってくる知恵と力と勇気と愛の ライダーストロンガ僕らの兄貴ジョーシゲルどこで吹くのかあの口笛は正義の使者の合図の印悪を探してやってきてわざと電気と正義の光僕らのライダーストロンガ僕らの兄貴
ロロロロロロ雨が降っているはいゆへい俺は一人だアマゾンロロロ
Alrighty.
ロロロ
Hey, wasn't that fun? I had a really good time. Matt and Alex were two of the absolute most fun dudes I could talk to on stream. And now that we have that worked out, if you guys enjoyed this, they should hopefully be back sometime in December, after a couple weeks after the movies come out, so then we can all get a feel for it and talk about it. I just want to hear more stories, and I didn't want to get too deep into the Ultraman side of stuff because I didn't want to accidentally make them spoil something. But I think after hearing everything we heard today, they picked some of the right people for this job, and I'm so excited for Ultra Galaxy Fight: The Absolute Conspiracy. It seems like a lot of fun, and I'm gonna check out the English part of it. Usually I go with the Japanese side first, but I think this time I'm gonna start with the English side of it. So let me know in the chat if that's what y'all want to do too. Want to let y'all know, I goofed. My chat window died halfway through that, so if I didn't ask your question, I am super terribly sorry. What I'm going to do is I'm going to try and capture all of these questions. I'm going to write them down with your name and everything, so then whenever we come back in December to talk with these guys again, that way I can ask your questions then. So I'm really sorry. Bear with me. We'll get those answered for you soon. Okay? All right. Huh. Wasn't it crazy? It's so wild to see like how many people are involved in so many other different projects out there, and I hope this was a good enough insight for some of y'all that want to get into the industry and maybe be a voice actor or a stuntman. A little bit of it is knowing people. So if you're ever curious or you're not sure about something and you know somebody that is into that stuff, reach out. Try to reach out. It's hard. Social anxiety is super strange even on the internet, but you never know. Somebody might be able to help you and maybe even take you somewhere bigger and better than before. So I hope for the absolute best for Matt and Alex. And again, if you guys are seeing this right now, thank you so much for coming. I really appreciate y'all. So at the end of the stream, do me a favor. When the stream actually completely ends, keep an eye on the chat or the description down below in a VOD after. I'm going to put the link for that game that Alex was talking about, the Benza indie RPG. I'm going to put that in so you guys can give that a shot yourself. Okay? And I'm going to go check those out on Amazon Prime. Those series seem like fun. So be sure to go give those guys a follow as well. They're both on Instagram and on Twitter. Their Twitters and Instagram stuff is down below in the description. Please go check that out. I'd really appreciate it. All right, so we're going to wrap this up. I'm going to do my usual shill, but before I do my usual thing, I'm going to share with y'all something. Earlier today, technically last night, I released the base helmet pattern version 2.0. This is a brand new base helmet pattern. I think it's really good. It should be great for Sentai, Rider, and maybe even Ultraman stuff too. So if you're trying to get into tokusatsu cosplay, go get this free pattern. There's a tutorial alongside of it, and we got a contest going, and y'all can hear it because my microphone's all the way over there. Ah! Hi, can y'all hear me now? I'm sorry. One more time, I released a free base helmet pattern, so if you want to get into Kamen Rider, Super Sentai, or Ultraman cosplay, go get that free base helmet pattern now. It's on my channel. There's a download link in the comments and in the description of that video. There's a whole tutorial showing you how to do this, and it's only 8 pieces. It's really not that difficult. Give it a shot. Also, there's a contest going on right now. 2 contests, actually. The first one, it's mine. There's a contest associated with this base helmet pattern. Go check out that video. Go watch to the very, very end. We are currently, when I say we, me and my friends over at Team Rider are giving away a Beyond Driver from Kamen Rider Geo, as well as a Panda Progress Key from Kamen Rider 01. Grand prize is going to get the DX Beyond Driver, and the runner-up is going to get the Panda Progress Key. All you gotta do, make one of these base helmets, paint it up, do something different with it. Just make something cool and use the hashtag, Hey Dusty, I did it. So, I talked to my friend Reggie, who is at True Kamen Rider O's over on Twitter, and he's currently running a contest to win a SH Figure Arts Kamen Rider O's. This guy right here, this is a really fun figure. I spent $80. You guys could get it for free if you guys use my helmet and the hashtag in his tweet. Go check out his pinned tweet over on Twitter. Again, that's at True KROOO at Twitter. So the pinned tweet should tell you all the things for his contest. He's agreed to let you guys use my stuff to enter in his contest too. So potentially you could get a belt or a progress key and a figure art. I know 2 weeks seems like not a lot of time because you got it till October 31st to get this done, but I could do this in about a day, and that's me like not trying. You guys could probably do it in a day. Just, don't be afraid. Just try. If it's going to be your first thing, it's going to be a little bit of a mess anyways, but you're going to be learning. I wasn't perfect. I didn't come out the womb making props and costumes like nothing. Like, it took me years to figure out how to do this kind of stuff, but I'm trying to make it faster for all of y'all so you can be quick and join me, because I don't want to be the only guy dressed up like a Power Ranger. So yeah, go check out that tutorial. Go check out the contest. Go check out the contest that Reggie's running. And one last time, be sure to go check out Ultra Galaxy Fight, November 22nd, only on Ultraman Official's YouTube channel. So, yeah. Did y'all have a good time? I had a great time tonight. This was a fun stream, and I hope you guys had a great time too. We're going to end it a little bit quick tonight, though. Unfortunately, I have a lot of other work stuff I have to do, and it sounds like I'm probably going to be taking a break in November from streaming. So Halloween, we are going to have a absolute party. We're going to do something fun on Halloween. So yeah, and we'll be back probably December, maybe Thanksgiving, sometime around then. But I'm definitely going to take the first couple weeks in November because I got some projects over on Marco Satsu's channel I got to do. Oh, hey, I said his name right on the channel for once. Oh my God, you guys! Ah! Sorry, this is really exciting for me. I finally got his name right on the thing. All right, y'all. Thank you all so much for joining me. I'll catch you all next time here at The Next Decade. Oh, whoa, wait. Don't go. I almost messed up. Okay, hey. I moved the Patreon stream. The Patreon stream that was supposed to happen this week got pushed out of the way by a public stream. So, we're having a private stream tomorrow that's just for my patrons. If you want to be part of that, $1 on the Patreon. That's all you need in order to join that stream. And that's when I usually work on stuff like this or my Ixa project. So if you guys want to see how I make my props and costume stuff, that's the best way to catch it, is on those Patreon streams. So we're going to have that tomorrow, 9 p.m. So if you're Patreon, I'll catch you there. All right. Thank you all so much for joining me and Matt and Alex tonight. It means the absolute world to us. Thank you so much. Go watch that Ultraman Absolute Conspiracy when it comes out. I'm going to go because I need water. My mouth is super dry. Okay, I love you all. Bye. Catch you next time.